Hello everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at this fake Lego Technic Bugatti Chiron. Coming to the packaging, it is a close replica to that of the original. We've got one of those slightly cuboidal boxes and we've got a nice snapshot of the complete build. Coming here to the side, there's a rear view of the completed build, another side view with a 1:1 scale picture of the rims, and then over here again another picture of the back. Now I'm going to go to the back of the box, and here we have a finished build picture from the rear, as well as the features and functions like the engine, which is supposed to be working, these brake calipers, as well as the interior of the vehicle, as well as the steering wheel. One thing I'd like to point out about the packaging, just like the other builds, is that the cardboard is slightly cheaper quality compared to that of original Lego, as well as the way the box seals itself or packs is very primitive. It's just basically a lot of printed cardboard coming together. Now let's quickly get to the unboxing. Now we have this big plastic packet with all of the pieces inside. And there goes the instruction manual with the sticker pack, which is slightly bent, I think, because it was stuffed into the box, and it's been lying at my place for a while, so there's a little bit of dust as well. So as it is evident, we've got a lot of packets, and I don't think they're differentiated with like the first section or the second section. We've just got everything over here laid down, so I'll have to sift through these packets and see which one comes first. So after a little bit of effort, I have all of the packets laid out in the numerical order. Thankfully, we don't seem to have any packets missing so far in the serial order. There are package numbers starting from the number 0 up till the number 13 right here. Some of them have 4 sub packets, some of them have 2, some of them have a single one. There are also packets numbered 0. There's 7 of them, which I'm going to lay out on top just in a bit. And those 7 are basically pegs and common pieces that are going to be used across the build. Now that we have everything laid out, let's take a look at the instruction manual and get to the actual build. Now taking a look at the instruction manual right here, it's a pretty basic manual, decent quality paper. We've got this set number, I think, written over here, which says T5201. Completely blank, no pictures, unlike the other sets. And interestingly, we do get a sticker pad with this set, unlike the other 1:8 scale builds that I've recently done, which came with printed plates. So let's see how this works out. So here we are, done with about 1.6% of this build, and what's interesting is that we haven't started off with either of the differentials or the axles, but this seems to be like a central underbody plate which is going to hold things together. Here we are about 6% done with this build, and contrary to my previous statement, we've just finished one of the axles along with the suspension. Here we are about 12% done with this build. We've just finished the gear system, and the gears are a little tight. There's a lot of them, and even with this build, I suspect that we won't have a working gear system since it's slightly difficult to engage these plates. So here we are about 14% done with this build, and we've attached the gear system to the axles that we made earlier. And one thing I'd like to point out is that the pieces are really good quality. They're a little tight though compared to the other builds that I've done recently. Another thing is that the packets are numbered properly, so the pieces that are coming out are in sequence, and it saves you the hassle of scouring for a lot of things. Here we are about 17% done with this build. We've just built the engine. This is the W16 engine by Bugatti, and this is a first of a kind build because it has a total of 16 cylinders all across. And although a couple of the pieces are a little tight, including the gears, let's see how it works out. So here we are about 20% done with this build. We've just mounted the engine onto the base assembly. Here we are 24% done with this build, and we've just created the small system which seems to be the steering assembly. Here we are 29% done with this build, and we've just created the front axles along with the steering column. Here we are 36% done with this build, and we've attached that steering column to the gear system right here. Here we are about 42% done with this build, and we've just started building the cockpit and the outer shell of the vehicle. Here we are at about 48% done with this build, and we made a lot of progress recently. We've attached both the front sections and the rear sections. Most of this assembly was a lot of supporting arms, as well as a little bit of the roof is coming along. Here we are done with about 55% of this build. We've added the roof over here, we've made the rear fender sections, as well as made this really nice looking spoiler, which I think will be a working gimmick, and the rear exhaust over here as well. Here we are done with about 65% of this build. We are done with the roof, and we've added this section on the left as well. We're done with the rear section, which includes the tail lights, and this pipe piece was bent, so that was a little bit of a bummer. So it's going to appear this way only. There's no way of sort of reshaping it since it was tangled when it came in the packets. Another thing I want to point out about the pieces is these long 3-stud length axles from Technic that have come with this set. They're a little tight, but rest all of the other pieces are quite decent. They're fitting in pretty well. So here we are 75% done with this build. We've added the interiors, which includes the seats as well as the steering. We're done with the rear section over there. We've done a little bit of stickering as well for the interiors over there, as well as a Bugatti logo on the steering right here. I don't think it will be visible since the stickers are of a slightly faded, cheaper quality. So that was pretty obvious with a knockoff, but interesting build so far. So here we are done with about 85% of this build. We've built the doors on both sides as well as started off with the front section. The interiors are complete, and we've done a lot of stickering on the inside, which includes upholstery for the doors as well as the digital instrument cluster inside, if you can see. Further, this is my first 1:8 scale with conventional doors as compared to the butterfly doors on the McLaren P1 as well as the Ferrari Daytona. So we're finally 100% done with this build, and I present to you the knockoff Lego Technic Bugatti Chiron. On first glimpse, nice looking vehicle. I like the build. Overall building experience was really nice, but I think the complete and finished look of this vehicle could have been better had this piping been a little intact, since it was already bent and twisted around. It gives a slightly asymmetric look on both sides, which I'll come to in a minute. Similarly, the center pipe also was a little too long, and it was tough to get it through one of the pegs. So that also looks a little bit off when you come closer to the vehicle, but otherwise nice looking vehicle form. Now we'll quickly take a look at all the details and the working gimmicks. First up are of course the working doors. Next up is the bonnet area or the frunk. It has decent storage space inside as well as comes with an accessory bag. What was interesting to see is that the accessory bag actually has some Chiron branding on both sides, as well as comes with a sticker that forms the zipper on top. And of course we have the working steering wheel. That's all for the working gimmicks. We do have a gear system and a gear lever, but just like the previous builds, this being a knockoff, the gears don't engage properly. Thankfully it does not cause a problem for the car to move around or roll, so there's no jerk or friction that way. Rolls pretty well. Talking of the interior, I really like how this section forms up. The interior, it's got more pieces than printed plates or covered up plates like the previous builds I did. Coming to the rear, we've got these nice looking tail lights, as well as the engine looks amazing, the W16 engine on this one. I think the stickers and the details on the engines are absolutely amazing, even viewed from afar. Finally, coming up front, we've got the signature Bugatti headlamps as well as that grille over there, which looks amazing. I love the way they formed the grille. There's not a single plate over here. We've got all individual pieces forming up the grille, so that was a nice touch. Overall, I love the way the build comes together. I think the building experience has been absolutely amazing. Of course, I'll be nitpicking when I start pointing out the bent pipes or inconsistencies in the pieces, but then again we have to look at the price point at which we're getting such a build. Talking about the price, I purchased this set for rupees 5,700 through a group order posted on a WhatsApp community group. Now I must point out that I purchased it about 3 to 4 months back, and the price since then has changed from the supplier itself. So in case you're looking at anchoring yourself to that price, I don't think you'll get it at that much in India. There are a couple of individual web stores also where this set is available for purchase. One such store is called Fluid Retail, which I came across. Now they host their orders through WhatsApp itself, but you can individually purchase this Bugatti Chiron set for somewhere around 8,500 to 9,000 rupees over there. Well, now it's time for the final verdict. In terms of building experience, I thoroughly enjoyed putting this one together. I think it really brings out the essence of the original Bugatti, and except for minor defects with the piping, I think the quality of pieces was almost at par with original Lego. So in case you're a Bugatti fan and looking at getting a Lego version of the same, this set is definitely worth it. At a price point of about 11,500 rupees, which is almost 1/5 the price of the original Lego version, I think this set is definitely worth it. And like always, this will be my last video review before I move abroad for my higher studies. I wanted to thank you all for tuning into the channel and subscribing and showing your endless love and support in the form of likes and comments. Even though I'm not sure when I'll be able to procure my next build, I'll be sure to post more Lego related and petrol related content on this channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Head over to the description box below to find more links for buying fake Lego in India. In case you have any thoughts, queries or comments, please share them in the comment section down below and subscribe to Petrol at 707 for more such content. Thank you. Bye-bye.